All right, guys. So let me just share the screen now. And hopefully everyone can see the screen. I'm trying to actually be in the group as well, but I can't quite tell. So hello. Coach Kim here from KimberlyBroom.com. I am super psyched to be here with you guys tonight and kick this off. So I had promised in this challenge group, I had promised some education sessions. So I have 4 of them planned. I have 4 planned. And this is the first. So this is the foundation, okay? So it's all about nutrition. So I know you guys that we're using some different kits that we've gathered, but none of those kits and none of those supplements are going to take the place or replace or make up for a bad diet, right? It starts there, right? So it always starts there. And I love this slide because it's just so funny. If I knew I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself. And I mean, like, ain't that the truth, right? Everything we did in our 20s and 30s, it's like, oh my gosh, by the time, all of a sudden it starts to catch up by 35, 40, we start to feel it like, ooh. And that's common, right? So I see that a lot, and it's no joke, all the, too much coffee, too many late nights, excess alcohol, all the refined foods, like all of a sudden things that we used to be able to do, suddenly it's like it hits us in a different way as we get older. And it's decades of building up, and that is what's going on. So what is our problem? One more. There we go. Goals. So what I want to cover in these education sessions for the challenge group over the next month are these things right here. So what is healthy eating, right? What's going to keep you in the fat burning zone? We're going to talk about sleep. We're going to talk about exercise. We're going to talk about hydration. We're going to talk about stress, your insurance policy, and then some simple steps to improve your health. And I am also going to touch on supplementation. So what is going on, right? So what's our problem? How do we end up here, right? So what happens is, especially with our healthcare system, it's more like a sick care system, and it doesn't treat the root, right? So our healthcare system is treating the problems, the symptoms, but it's not getting to the bottom of it. And it really all starts with nutrition, right? So we're taking in all the wrong foods that are low nutrients, they're high in calories, but they've been stripped out of all the goodness and all the nutrients, and they've been pumped full of chemicals, right? You go to your grocery store, how many aisles of a health food aisle do you have? It's like, oh, that's in the health food aisle. One aisle. Like, shouldn't everything, all our natural food just be food, and then maybe all the chemical foods be the fake foods? Like, I think we really have it backwards, but you see rows and rows and rows of boxed goods, convenience items, frozen foods, canned food, all that, right? Because convenience, right? And food is big business. So that, to me, I firmly believe that is the root of the problem here. Other things that are going on, portion distortion. So we are, let me just mute my phone here. So we like rate restaurants on the size of the meals. Like, oh my God, this restaurant's awesome because they give us like huge portions. I love it. And we definitely have a distorted view of our portions nowadays. Like if you compare dinner plates from the 50s, our dinner plate has even grown. So we have this portion distortion, and it's really about becoming balanced and more aware of what we're taking in. We're looking for instant gratification, right? We don't have patience. We want our results, and we want them overnight. And I'll tell you what, I know I fall for that too, because I'm just a type A, and when I want it now. And the thing is, all this stuff that we didn't get here overnight, right? If you have some weight to lose, it didn't come on overnight, right? It's built up. So you're not going to lose it overnight. So we need to be patient with ourselves. And one of the things is we are looking for that quick fix and a magic pill and whatnot. And of course we want to accelerate our results. But like I said before, those supplements are there to supplement and enhance. They don't replace. So give yourself some patience and really start to look at this as a lifestyle change and make some changes as to, something you can manage, right? Make it manageable changes that is going to last you a lifetime. So the last thing is that we're easy to compromise, right? We would rather go and have surgery. We would rather cut it out. We'd rather take a pill and just lose it all. But we're easy to compromise. Like once things get tough, we might have a slip up and just throw the towel in and say, oh, you know, I knew it. I knew this was going to fail. I'm a failure. It's a slip up. Like nothing. You're never ever going to be perfect. Okay, so just get that out of your head. It's about making progress, continuous progress as you move forward. So ask yourself, have you been feeling like this? Low on energy, headaches, fatigue, dizziness, anxieties, you know, skin problems, difficulty losing weight, hormone imbalance, sinus issues, feeling hungover in the morning, right? Trouble sleeping, that's a big one. So if all of these things are going on, you definitely need a change, and you are definitely absolutely in the right place. And so let's kick it off with the foundation. So what is it that you're eating, right? So what's that you're eating? Too much of the wrong food, okay? So too much of the wrong food can make it difficult for your body to metabolize, right? It's going to spike your blood sugar level, and it's going to shift your body into fat storage mode, right? And no one wants that. Oh my God. And if you're eating too little food, if you're skipping meal, if you are restricting calories, that's going to trigger cravings. It can trigger like a deprivation type mindset, and then therefore lead down into a binge later on. And it also will put your body into a starvation mode, and bingo, you're going to start storing fat again, okay? So our food choices. So really, the food we take in every day, it really is the energy and life that we bring to each day. It's going to affect how we show up at work, how we show up in our relationships, how we feel about ourselves, our attitude, right? Like if you want to go out and be social, if you just want to stay hunkered in your sweatpants, you know, and not put on real pants, because oh my God. So it really, what we're taking into our body, it really is the energy and life that we bring to each and every day. And the foods that we eat, they trigger hormonal responses in our body, right? The food that we eat, it can either fuel our hormones or it can disrupt our hormones. And the hormones, the responses, it determines whether we store fat or burn fat, whether our blood vessels are dilated or constricted, whether our brain functions efficiently or whether we are energetic or sleepy, right? So it affects how we think, look, and feel. Food, all comes down to food. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about some food categories, right? And what you want to be looking for. So carbohydrates. So one of the biggest things I had come from in years of coaching, years of dieting, years of being self-taught prior to getting certified in the different programs that I have been certified in, is like ditching carbs, like altogether, like cutting them out. And that is the wrong tactic. We need carbs, right? And they come from a lot of different sources. So I think when most people talk about I cut carbs, they're talking about like bread and pasta, right? And that's okay. So let's talk about carbs. You can find carbs in your breads, fruits, legumes, starches, vegetables, whole grains. Carbs are in juices and in all like the sugary sweet foods and baked foods, okay? So if you're, and we do need them, right? So we need some carbohydrates. We need the right carbohydrates for energy. They feed our brain, and you also need them to support your hormones, right? So for hormone production. So it really comes down to the type, the timing, and the amount. It comes down to those three things when you're talking about carbs and getting the right ones in, because you definitely don't want to cut them, because if cutting them leads to more physical stress on the body. Cutting out carbs completely, like just skipping over any grains, it will increase your cortisol level. It will deplete your testosterone level. In testosterone, that's like your youth kind of a hormone. Your serotonin will plummet. Your thyroid gets out of whack. It starts to put on the brakes. So it just it throws some of, well, not all of your key, but some of the key metabolic hormones. It throws them out of whack if you are going to cut carbs. So like for the first week or so, maybe you're going to get great results and it's going to be fabulous. But for a long term, it's not the, you know, like I said, it's just not the way to go. You're going to do more damage to your body. And I knew that firsthand. I knew it firsthand. So what happens when we eat carbs? So our digestive process, it breaks them down. It breaks it into glucose or, you know, the blood sugar. So think energy. And then the blood sugar, it's either utilized for immediate energy or it's going to store it as fat, right? So if you do like lots of high cardio, then carbohydrates or extra carbohydrates is probably great for you. That's why you see after a runner's race, they're handing out bananas, which is like more glucose than a starch, like a grainy. But it's replacing the glucose immediately. But on a hard training day with extra cardio, maybe you can take in some extra carbohydrates. So it's really all about type, timing, and amount, and that's more detailed. But let's look at a typical day, all right? So typical day starts off, here's your blood sugar levels, low and high. And so you wake up in the morning, you start your day, maybe up here, this is when you've had your breakfast. Okay, you have some. Maybe it's maple sugar oatmeal, maple and brown sugar, and oh my God, it's so good. And you have your coffee, and then you go on and you start your day. And then around midday, the energy starts to sag, and it comes down here. And then you have a snack, and it comes back up, right? And then it spikes, because what type of snacks are you going to have? Are you hitting the vending machine? That's going to depend on, you know, what type of food you're taking in is going to drive how your blood sugar levels are performing, whether they're spiking and dropping. So then maybe you have a snack and it comes up, and then it plummets again. Then it's lunchtime and it comes up again, and, you know, so on and so forth. The thing we want to talk about here is these peaks and these valleys. You really want to stay in an even keel here in the fat burning zone. So peaks and valleys happen when we don't eat the right things. We don't pair our foods properly. We're taking in just sugary. We're not getting protein in. We want to keep it steady, all right? You want to have protein and fiber at every meal, which I'm going to get into those two topics next. But when you're eating just a lot of carbohydrates, so go back to that example, when you have the oatmeal, you started your day with carbs, right? When you start your day with carbs, you are more likely, studies show that you are more likely to eat more carbs throughout the day. You're going to have less energy. So you always want to start off with a protein-based breakfast, right? So you can have some oatmeal. It shouldn't be the brown sugar oatmeal. Get rid of those instant oats there and get some slow cooking or the steel cut oats and have some eggs with it. And take a few bites of the eggs first, okay? Always start your day with a protein-based breakfast. So let's talk about fats. Fats, good, healthy fats, they're great. They're great for your body. Your body requires it. It slows down your digestion. It, again, supports your hormones. It balances out the blood sugar levels. It's going to strengthen the cellular walls, helps with oxygen. It's going to facilitate calcium absorption and assist in vitamin A, D, and E absorption as well. So that's like the science. And let's face it, it's going to add fullness, right? It's going to add a little texture, it's going to give you that satisfaction in your meal, so you don't eat your meal and you're hungry instantly right after it, right? Has that ever happened to any of you where you've eaten your meal, you've had a salad, just strict salad and chicken that's been cooked with just baked chicken, nothing on it, and you're just ravenous, right? You maybe need some fat in that too if you haven't taken any in. But it's low glycemic, and that it helps with the satiety. So there are good fats and there are bad fats. The bad fats are the hydrogenated and they're overheated, right? So those ones are going to constrict your arteries, lead to blockages, makes your blood sticky, and it literally changes the lining of your arteries to Velcro, right? And the good fats, things like fish, like nuts, seeds, coconut, so like coconut oil, they're going to help make the blood flow more smoothly. It's going to help dilate your arteries. and they're anti-inflammatory, right? So those are the ones you want to be adding into your diet. So fish, nuts, avocado even, and coconut. So lean protein, what is it? Lean protein, here's some good examples, are chicken, eggs, fish, tofu, red meat, lamb, duck. So those are proteins. And I think we're all women in this particular challenge group, but ladies, 30% of us, we don't get enough protein, right? That's studies show we need more protein. And that's why I say fiber and protein at every meal, okay? So don't skip it. Start your day with a protein-based breakfast and make sure you're eating it at your meals and your snacks. So what happens? Why protein? Well, first of all, it's a building block for your muscles, right? So the digestive process, it breaks it down into amino acids. And the amino acids are the building blocks for the body. So it's going to support your muscle mass. It's going to help you maintain your muscles. It also blunts the effects of like carbohydrates. It slows the effect and the release of it into your system. So it's for hormone balance, it strengthens your muscles, and it contributes to just about every cellular process in your body. Okay, so protein is key. It's key. Let's see, what did I miss? I already went through this. So it allows the body to build and repair itself. Oh, muscle, hair, skin, nails, enzymes, brain. Yeah, all that. Blood sugar levels, like I said, because it blunts the effects of the carbohydrates. So let's talk about fiber. So what do you think the recommended daily intake of fiber is? Any guesses out there? I don't even know if, I'm sorry, I'm not checking my newsfeed to see if you're answering on this Facebook Live, but the recommended daily intake is 25 to 35 grams of fiber, right? And that most Americans are averaging 8 to 10 grams, right? That's crazy. And if you're healthy and you're trying, 15 grams, so still under, right? So getting enough fiber is definitely something we need to be conscious of and aware of. So ask yourself, are you getting 7 to 12 servings of vegetables every day, right? Probably not. I mean, unless you are totally mindful and really aware, but it's so important. It's, just let's talk about colon cancer, okay? First of all, it's important for, fiber, it's elimination. If you've seen my Facebook Lives, you've seen me, it's not just about the poop, but it is, it's also about the elimination. So colon cancer is one of the most preventable types of cancers out there. So if you have adequate fiber intake, it's going to grab all those toxins and all the extra fat, and it's going to move it through the body, right? But it also gives you a sense of fullness in your food. So again, to like squash in that hunger. If you're a type of person that is hungered easily, add some fiber to your meal, right? So it increases the volume of your food. And like I said, it absorbs and eliminates. So it absorbs the toxins, the fats, and the water. So it pulls it through the colon and gets it out of the body. We don't want it out of the body, because those toxins and fats stay in the body, they're getting stored in like the pockets, getting stored in your fat, right? All those toxins start to build up. And fiber stabilizes the blood sugar, okay? So you've got soluble and insoluble. So soluble gets gummy in water, right? So it stabilizes the blood sugar, it reduces cholesterol and blood pressure, and it helps with the intestinal bacteria. Insoluble, it doesn't really change in water, but it adds bulk to the stools. It's going to prevent constipation, and it's going to keep your intestine clean by like scrubbing and removing those toxins. So fruits and veggies, and also fiber supplement, okay? So when I say protein and fiber at every meal, when I say fiber, I'm really talking vegetables, because I think a lot of us tend to take in more fruits than vegetables, and it really should be the other way around. All right, so you 7 to 12 servings of vegetables every day. A serving size is like a cup of spinach, handful of spinach, throw it in your shake, blend it up. It's a great way to sneak it in. With chocolate, you don't even taste it, right, with a chocolate shake. So it's a great way to sneak it in. Find little ways to sneak it in. So those are those are the basics on the food. So we talked about carbohydrates, fats, protein, fiber, right? Those are the four keys to healthy eating plan, okay? And I'll talk a little bit more about what things look like, but I just wanted to start to get your minds going and give you a little base knowledge here. So lean protein. Look at the palm of your hands, palm size at every meal, okay? And that's a great way to eyeball it. Vegetables, you can eat unlimited. Unlimited vegetables, especially the green leafies, those are best. Carbohydrates, so your carbs like grains and starches, you want a tight fist size, right? That's like a cupful. But if you're just eyeballing it, a tight fist. And like I mentioned before, the activity and the gender, that will vary really how much you can take in, how much activity you do, whatnot. But rule of thumb is like a cup a day, ideally. Adequate water. How much water is adequate? Well, take your weight, divide it by 2, and that number is the number of ounces that you should take in every single day. That's truly the best way to gauge it. So take your weight, divide it by 2. That number is the number of ounces you should drink every single day. And have some sparse amounts of healthy fat throughout your day. So 2 thumbs at most meals, okay? So two thumb sizes. So like nut butters or nuts. Nuts could, count them out, maybe like 15 almonds or 12 peanuts, or walnuts, like, 10 to 12, in that range. And always, spices, healthy spices, garlic, turmeric, cilantro, those are great. Those are great, and those can really jazz up your meals. And if they're, using and experimenting with seasonings, can really change things up and take a bland meal and really change it up for you. So that is really what I wanted to say tonight. It's really all about becoming a better version of you. I'm really excited that you guys are on this journey with me, and any questions that you have as we're going through this challenge, post them in the group and I will be happy to answer them. Keep us all posted on how things are going, what you're noticing, what you're experiencing, how you're feeling, and I look forward to seeing you soon. All right, bye guys.